You can see where this is leaking here, and you can see probably leakage up there too. That's why this side's so bouncy and bad. Got a bad strut on a 2012 Mazda 3, and because of that I'm going to change out both the passenger side and the drive side. Now, the owner of this car was driving and hit a bad pothole, heard a loud bang, then the car started knocking when she went over bumps, and it's gotten bouncy on one side, and I'll show you. See how bouncy that is? And this side hardly moves. So that left side's shot, but I'm going to change out both so it's balanced, and I'm going to show you how to do it. First, we'll jack up the car and make sure it's properly secured. Next, we'll remove the tire and set that aside. Next, we're going to go in, and right here is the ABS sensor, and just going to go ahead and push that clip in, jiggle it back and forth a little bit, and that pops off. And you just want to take a look at this, make sure it's not corroded or rotted out if you're up in the rust belt, and we'll set that aside. Next, we'll pull out this clip that holds the brake line in, and I'm just using a screwdriver. I'm using leverage on this post here, and there's a little notch in there. I'm just popping that out. I'll get behind here. There, she's coming. And you can see how that goes in. That creates the pressure, and you want that facing down. And we can pull the brake line out. Just pull down and then over and get that out of the way. You don't want to hit that, pinch that, cut that. Now I'm going to take a little penetrating lubricant and hit where the strut goes into the knuckle, because we have to separate that. Now I'm going to remove the ABS wire from here. This is just a little open clip with a rubber grommet there. And move that aside so that doesn't get cut or pinched or anything. Now we can remove the sway bar link nut. Because this sway bar end link is so tight up there, I'm going to take a pry bar, and there's a little hole down there in the frame, and set that in and pull down to get that out. There we go. And I'm going to remove this pinch bolt for the knuckle. And you want to check the bolt, make sure it's not in bad shape. This one looks okay, I just need to clean it up a little bit, and I can reuse it. I'm going to take my hammer and hit this knuckle here, and I'm hoping that this will separate the strut from the knuckle. Now, if yours is real sticky, you can take a chisel, and where that pinch bolt goes in, you can get underneath that where the two ears come together and pound your chisel in there, and that'll open that up and free that up so you can get more penetrating oil in there and get that out. Beautiful. Now we're good. We're all free. We'll go up top. And up top on the shock tower, we've got 3 bolts. They're 14 millimeter, and they're not tightened down very tight. They're 20 foot-pounds. So I'm going to loosen those. I'm going to leave one end loose so the strut doesn't just go flying. And again, don't touch this middle nut on here. Otherwise that spring's going to explode and you can really get hurt or mess up your car. Then I'm going to reach underneath and hold the strut. And we can just pull the old strut out. Easy as that. But when you put this back in, you want to line up this flat side right here with this piece that goes in the knuckle. And you have to line that bolt up. That's how you know how far in to go. That bolt lines right up with that. And we're set to throw it in. And I'm just going to slide it in like I slid it out. And line up the bolts on the top here. You can't miss, really. Now, one thing you can do, if yours is corroded, the knuckle in there, you can take some anti-seize and put it in there so this slides in easier. Mine's in good shape. No pitting, no rusting, nothing. Might spray a little penetrating fluid on there, but that should slide right in there. There we go. Then you want to twist this and get it lined up with the opening on the knuckle that slides in. And that hole lines up with the bolt when it's all the way in. That looks about right there. There we go. And it actually hit, so I'm going to turn it a little bit. Get it lined up. I think I'm pretty good there. There we go. How about that for sliding right in there? Yee doggy. Thank you, Lord. Now I can take my pinch bolt, put a little thread locker on there. And put that in. And I got to get this sway bar end link in there. So I'm going to get my pry bar back out, just like I did before. But to get this sway bar link in, you can either pry that like I showed you, or you can jack up under the lower control arm, and that'll get you lined up with that. Otherwise, if you don't jack it up or pry it down, it's under a lot of pressure, and you can strip out those threads when you're prying it off. This way it goes in and off real easy. So we'll just put this ABS bracket back on, and this nut gets torqued to 40 foot-pounds. And this ABS line just goes right back into this bracket here. Plug this back in. Heard the click. And our brake line just slides in from the bottom. Pop that up, put our clip in. Remember how that goes in. Ain't going nowhere. And I'm going to torque that pinch bolt down. There's a range for that pinch bolt between 40 and 56, depending on what torque spec site you look at, but I'm going to go 54. There's 50, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go 54. And that's the 17 millimeter. There it is. All right, beautiful. Everything's good and secure. And everything's secured down here. Chink going nowhere. I've got these snugged down, and these take 20 foot-pounds. You don't want to over-tighten these. Actually, the range is 14 to 20. So I'm going to go 20 on these. There's 20 right there. And I got this torque wrench at Harbor Freight. This is for foot-pounds. All these are foot-pounds. And I think I got this for under $20. I don't know if they still carry it. I got it maybe 6 years ago. But they're not expensive. There we go. And after I set the car down, I'm going to double check these, because then the weight of the car will be pushing up. And I'll let this down just so that the tire's touching, but not all the weight of the car's on it. There we go. And now I can torque that down. And one last double check on these. Good. 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 Now I need to do the other side, which is actually the bad one, and then take the car and have an alignment done. But that's how easy it is to change the struts on your car. If this video is a help to you, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing, and I look forward to helping you with other projects online. And this is the other side. You can see where this is leaking here, and you can see probably leakage up there too. That's why this side's so bouncy and bad, passenger side.